Super,
Ah, what's up? What's up? I'm trying to fall asleep.
super, super.
Yes?
Axolotl just released a trailer.
No, no, that's not even funny. I'm trying to sleep, dude. I have to work tomorrow.
No. I'm not lying. They just released a trailer.
For what? They haven't even done anything. Chapter 2's not even coming.
They just released a trailer for it.
No. Dude,
Yes.
no, I'm going to sleep. Quit calling me.
Why would?
That's right, everyone. Just as I decided to start a series waiting for Scrap Mechanics Chapter 2, Axolot Games came out, broke their 7-month silence, and released a teaser trailer with the release date for Scrap Mechanic 1.0 and Chapter 2, which they've named Drilling Thunder. Since then, they've been on Twitter pretty frequently, posting screenshots of the update to tease what's coming. Today, even though I'm a little bit late, we're going to be going in, reviewing the teaser trailer they released, and also what they've been posting on Twitter since then, to talk about what's about to happen to Scrap Mechanic and how it's going to change literally forever. Let's get right into this. Okay, so before we begin, I will say I have watched this trailer. The day it came out, I came home from my 12-hour night shift, and I stayed up just until it released, and then I immediately fell asleep afterwards. But this will be my first time going frame by frame, zooming into parts, and we can kind of talk about what I think about different parts of the trailer here. So let's just go through one time, watch it, even though I know all of you guys already have watched it, and then we're going to go back and go frame by frame. And I'm just, no script, just gonna kind of, spitball at the screen, just like I normally do. So let's go. Yeah, so that's a lot right off the bat, right? And it's only 36 seconds long. But after months of nothing and 6 years of no trailers, no, wait, we had the physics and wedge update. So a long time without trailers. It's definitely a lot, right? There's immediately when it starts, you have this huge clip of multiple things we've never seen before in Scrap Mechanic. Clouds, right? Although those may have been in an early alpha version and then been removed. I'm not 100% sure. But we have clouds, we have rain. You can hear the thunder and see the lightning. And it's over this survival world that looks similar to what we've seen before, but still slightly different, in multiple ways. I don't know really a lot of the things that are in the background here. They kind of just look like that's obviously a normal ruin. I don't know what this is. Maybe another ruin off in the distance, right? And then ruin probably. This is a chemical plant, which does look a little different, but probably a chemical plant. And then yeah, warehouse, ruin back there. So it's just mostly ruins. Stuff we've seen before in here. I think what they're trying to showcase is just the difference of like the weather and the clouds and stuff. And clouds are going to be there probably most of the time, right? I'm sure they have a full weather cycle. So clouds are huge for this and definitely extremely different from how it was before because we used to always have clear skies and no rain. So that's most definitely different. Let's move on. Then afterwards, you have this dude running here. That's the wrong key. What am I trying to press here? And you have all the rain droplets on the ground. He's wearing the default clothes that you get when you fall out of the ship. Fall out of the ship? I don't know. Whatever you do at the beginning of the game. You have this. Looks like a pothole. Or just rocks. Do they have rocks normally on the road that like aren't near potholes? I don't know. But yeah, all the rain droplets on the ground. At this extremely slow speed, zoomed in, they look kind of pixelated. Oh, they released it 4K? That's crazy. But oh well, that's like most of the time you're going to be driving and moving, so I don't think it really matters. And then you see here, you have the rain droplets are these like long strings, right? That they fall down. So that's pretty cool. He's running away. What is he running away from? Oh, wait, we have a bigger shot here. So yeah, they do just have rocks. Good to know. And then these fences, maybe in a minute I'll show you guys here. You know what? I'll pull up the devlog now. I'll just put it on screen. real quick, but I think in their last dev blog, but they have this picture. Oh, it's different. Never mind. But they have this picture of like fencing along the roads. Is this the one I'm talking about? I think so. This is definitely brown fencing and not the other stuff, but but there's fences here. That's my point was that there's fencing on the side of this road, right? I don't know what kind of point I'm trying to make, but let's move on again. He's running from this thing. The rain looks super extreme here, first of all. Ruin in the background. And then up here in the foreground, we have this. And I'm like, what in the world is this? So in normal survival right now, we don't actually have anything that flies. And in the dev blogs, they've teased flying bots. Like you have I think it's called the miner bot or possibly a drill bot that's like underground. And that thing flew. But now we have this thing which flies, and I think it looks incredibly uncanny while it's flying. Let's move back. Like it's definitely frightening to watch it. The way it moves, all like slowly across the screen and stuff. That's for sure extremely creepy. And I wonder like what this will have to do with stuff in the game. How often will it happen? Like is this something that happens nightly or something like that? Or is it weekly? Or is it like if you have a farm raid, they come and scope it out? Is this what the bots are falling out of? Why does it have this crane down here? There's so many questions that aren't going to be answered until the 24th. But look, it has antenna and stuff too. And then these are like sacks, I'm assuming, filled with like helium or something that makes it float. And it's got like eyes here and a big eye there. It's got this massive red radar on the bottom. I don't know. I have no idea what this does, obviously, but it definitely looks interesting. Let's move on. All right, we have another shot of it here. And yeah, it just, the way it flies is weird because you don't have anything like flapping. So it's not like a real bot. You know what I mean? Like it's not a bot by itself, I don't think. I feel like it's more of a spacecraft being manned by farm bots rather than it being its own being. But it could be a big bot, right? I just feel like the way it flies makes it like there's no mechanics that are making it fly, if that makes sense. Like how's it moving forward? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. He's running away, he's looking at it, or I don't know. I don't know what he is, but he's looking at it or something. It's coming down the road. And then will it, more questions. Will it be chasing us? So we're not in the red outline here, but clearly it must be chasing us because it's following where the mechanic is going, unless that's just for the trailer. And maybe it'll kind of just scan around the area that the player's in periodically or something. Maybe when it becomes nighttime, you have to be inside. That's something in like Minecraft you have that you don't really have in this game, where when it turns nighttime, there's like obviously tons of mobs everywhere, and you have to find shelter, or else you're probably gonna die. Or maybe that's just a me problem because I'm horrible at the game. But maybe this is similar to that. So even when you have freshly spawned into a new world and you're wearing these shaggy clothes and are just beginning, you have to find shelter at night, or else this thing's gonna come out and find you and I don't know, abduct you or something like that. I don't. What happens if it gets me? What happens if it finds me? Will I end up like I'm trying to find references to games, but I don't have a ton of like I don't play a lot of games other than Scrap Mechanic to be completely honest. So there is like Sons of the Forest, if you've ever seen anything about that game, when you get killed by the enemies in that game, you end up in their camp tied up. So will this like abduct me and take me somewhere to like a farm bot area or something like that? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Let's move on. And then we have this shot next. This is probably the most normal survival shot I think we have. You have the hill in the background right? That's normal survival terrain. I don't know why I can't speak. That's normal survival terrain in the background there. And then you have the mechanic station, which looks pretty much the same. You'd have the capsules off to the right there. And then, yeah, just you have rain and clouds now. So this is probably the most normal shot we have. And yeah, no, that's always there. There's a ruin up there, though. And then you have this one, which shows him running to the mechanic station for safety as this red scanner thing is like coming towards him. And maybe I'm just kind of spitballing here, of course. And I don't know if you remember Fortnite from like 9 years ago or whatever, 2017 on, but they had the storm that would slowly close in on the island as the game progressed. And so maybe like at night you have multiple of these bots flying around scanning the area for mechanics, us, and then over time they kind of close in on your area. I don't know. I don't know how they would be able to see where we were or know where to search if we're not in the red area, right? I have no idea. We're gonna have to find out. He makes it to the mechanic station. The new chapter is coming, and then oh yeah, we get all these shots, which we're gonna go nice and slow. Okay, we now have this shot of the raids that they've teased before. This is kind of coming down onto the mechanic, probably just on his farm. So this is nothing we haven't really seen before. Much more fleshed out. This is the wrong button. Much more fleshed out, right? Like these look really good and they look like scrap mechanic survival things. That's too far. It looks like they're dispensed from these flying things up here. And so with these, right, I'm going to go back to the other flying bot we have, right? Because we have that one that scans. And that one I've said looks uncanny when it flies because there's nothing really obviously making it move. But these, whoops, I hit my desk. These, you can see there's thrusters on them, right? So there's a logical reason that they should be able to fly. And then they drop these down and they hit the ground and then they open up. I don't think we see it in here, but they open up and bots come out. And that's how the raids work now because they reworked everything. You can also see in this shot, like, there's not very many clouds, I notice. And so that does kind of confirm that cloud coverage is different. I don't know if there's going to be like clear skies, partly cloudy, whatever, or if clouds are going to be more tied to like the thunder and lightning or something like that. But it is good to see that they're not always the same, right? Because in current survival mode, the sun doesn't even move at all. It's in the exact same spot the entire day. And then when it becomes night, I'm assuming the moon's in the same spot. I actually don't know for sure. But it looks like the clouds are actually going to be dynamic. And I really hope the sun is dynamic too and moves across the sky as it becomes night and stuff like that. I forgot that there were shots and I clicked on pause. That was a mistake. We got to move forward slowly. Then we have our beloved Trashbot now in a different color. Because he was green before, right? I think so. Now he's red. And yeah, looks good, man. I mean, he also used to have a face, unless this opens. But he used to have like a closed face. And they've shown this boss fight before in dev blogs, or just one dev blog, I think, where like he's shooting out stuff from different things. And I think it's very interesting to see how this progressed from devblog 20, because devblog 20 is the first devblog that released after Scrap Mechanic Survival came out, and they teased the spot, and he was going to just sit at the top of the warehouse and chill. You know what I mean? I'm talking with my body, right? So I'm like hunkered down, like just chilling. But I realize you can't see that, so that's kind of ridiculous. But he was just sitting on top of warehouse, and you would fight him on there. And now, and they've showed in the last devblog, he's sitting in this massive arena somewhere on the map outside, right? Because we can see the sky there, but he's in an arena. And I think it's it goes to show how much this Chapter 2 update and Scrap Mechanic Survival as a whole, the campaign, has just skyrocketed in content. And I think our expectations are going to be absolutely blown away with this update, because this bot specifically, just talking about this bot, went from sitting on top of a warehouse to having his own massive arena that's fully fleshed out. Here you have all the trash around there and everything. Dare I say, maybe this is related to the scrapyard biome from devlog 13, right? They teased the scrap biome before Survival released. They teased a scrapyard, and it looked absolutely sick from the promotional art they posted, and then it got probably not scrapped, but tabled for later. And I think it would be an amazing biome to have. And maybe this is that. Maybe he's in here. Maybe the Trashbot's in like a trash biome, right? And so, how big is the map, right? Did they increase the map size? Because currently, the map is bigger than creative and survival, but it's still not, I feel like, big enough to have all this new stuff in it. But who knows, right? Let's move on to the next one also. You can see his movement here a little bit as I go back and forth. Ignore my cursor. It looks like he has these. Are these little green dots coming out of him? Yeah, they're spawning right in front of him. This must be like his opening move or something, I'd imagine. Okay, next shot. We have these people drilling. A couple things I noticed from going through this is you see the drill right here. It like loads for some reason. I don't really know what that entails, but they're mining with plasma drills, I'm assuming, which means that plasma drills were updated, right? Because what they've showed in the past is them mining the terrain with the plasma drills, like directly touching it, like we do now with the rock nodes. But this looks different. I wonder what the throw of these is. And if it's like specific to certain things, maybe some things you need the laser, some things you like physically touch with them. Because they've said a long time ago that the plasma drills and saws can be used on normal nodes also. So the normal rock nodes and the normal trees can be cut down with the plasma stuff. And I wonder if that's still true with these. Like, can I shoot a rock node with my plasma drill and have it just blow up? I guess we'll see. And you have the ore collector on here behind the terrain, or the, what is it called? The turret seat. There we go. The suspension is red in the front and not in the back. Just saying. But yeah, this is all stuff we've seen before. You can see wedges down here. What is up with that? Oh, it's not connected right there. It's connected up here and not down by the wedge. That looked weird for a second. I don't know. But yeah, sticky wheels. Oh yeah, sticky wheels are pink now. I didn't even notice like that right away. They're not green anymore, which I think they said that they would change the color to pink instead of green. Next shot, we have this absolute frightening mess right here. This looks interesting to me. Okay, there's actually a lot to take in with this. First of all, it looks absolutely massive. Like, I wonder how big these caves are going to be, right? Because this looks huge. This looks absolutely just beyond anything we have in the game currently. Like, it's this massive dome underground with a rock coming out of the middle, and then you have all of those little drill bots dropping capsules out as you're walking towards this thing, and in front of them it looks a lot like the encryptor that is in a warehouse that never actually got to like be anything in survival until hopefully now. The original idea was that the encryptor and its partner, whatever it was called, were in the warehouses, and when you defeated the warehouse, you could break them, and you could break the stuff in the warehouse and then put them on creations so that creations wouldn't be able to be messed with by players. That never became a thing. They were just kind of turned off, I think. You can blow them up, I think, and remove them from the warehouse and then break the warehouse. So they work, but they're not like fully implemented. That's what that looks like down there. And then yeah, you see like on the edge here, there's like random piles of something. Like this just looks massive to me. Like where even? How are we gonna get through? The I wonder how overbearing the campaign will be, right? Because if you're trying to find all these locations, it's going to take forever. But if the campaign kind of pushes you through this stuff, it'll be a little bit easier to find. I really hope that they took a page out of Raft's book here, a game that they published, developed by Red Beat Interactive, where their campaign, like you can build your raft and stop at islands as long as you want, and then you can pick up the campaign, and go to a place to unlock like an item or something like that. And then if you want to drop the campaign at any point, you can just go to a different island. And that is, in my opinion, the best way to do it, right? Like you can choose whether to do the campaign or not. And then after the campaign's over, you can just play normally. That seems perfect to me. So I hope that they went that route with this. Not much to take out of the screenshot other than the fact that it's absolutely massive. You know what else I noticed? Like as he's moving, look up to the top corners, and it's like that stuff doesn't even move because it's so far away. Absolutely wild. And then you have this shot, which is something. I think this is the first screenshot they teased after Survival released. They showed this elevator going into the ground, which is crazy. That was so long. That was like 6 years ago. Come on. That's wild. We've been doing this forever. I see a shadow up here at the top move, so maybe there's something above us. And we're going in here into the drilling thunder, if you will. It's just gonna be crazy, man. This is so wild. Look at that open. So maybe it's not like a warehouse, right? Like in the warehouse now, with how they are right now, you open the elevator, go into it, and then it unloads the world and loads in the warehouse. And that kind of allowed him to do some different things there. But this looks like it becomes part of the game world, right? Like, I don't think you're entering an elevator here. It really zooms in far here. Check out that license plate on that car. That's not even a part we can get in survival. He's got his tomatoes sitting on there. What is that thing on the right? What is this? I don't know. He also doesn't have a level 5 engine, so that's it's good to know. So maybe this isn't like a super late game thing. He does have warehouse parts, but and then that logo fades, or it's just the logo. So the logo doesn't fade. Actually, I'm giving you false information. Drilling Thunder, July 24th, and then at the end, right? They give us this chaotic shot, which was unexpected for me, right? Because it's just a lot. And I don't know what they're trying to show here. It doesn't look like it's part of, like all the other shots were part of new stuff in survival related to the campaign and digging. But this looks like almost like they're in just like a sandbox, like in creative mode. And they're just building, fighting with bots. It's just, yeah, there's just a lot going on. You can see someone else. There's a bunch of bot parts everywhere. Here's our friend, the red bot. What a guy. What a guy. Just check out how much is going on in this shot, right? Like there's so much. There's all these bots over here. You have all the toad bots, right? You have this car that's getting absolutely destroyed. You have this base up here with parts I've never even seen before. And then this spinning disc on the bottom. And then not to mention this weird terrain right here, which doesn't look natural. It looks like maybe they built it. Maybe you can do terrain. Have they said anything about that terraforming? I know they said I thought they said you could dig down anywhere. But maybe you can build terrain also? When would that be used? Land bridges, maybe? That would be cool, actually. I know, it looks interesting. It looks like you can kind of do it without limits. Like, I wonder how that works. How would that be done? Yeah, because look at how messed up it is here. Like, or like not messed up, but how like unnatural it looks. You have this weird jagged edge and stuff like that, and it goes back here, and you have someone driving on it up here. So there's definitely a lot. Let's play this. Yeah, you have this textured extruded metal. How is there a picture on it? What can we add pictures to stuff? Or what? How did they manage that? That seems kind of wild. Unless it's a tile asset. But I don't think so, because there's like player built stuff on it. But how would they do that? How would you be able to, like, can you upload your own pictures? Or is there like pre-made art that you can do and print on this? That's the whole trailer. Right there. That's wild. There's so much going on here that I don't even think we're close to prepared for this update. It's going to be so absolutely insane. Yeah. Holy. You see this? Wait a second. Check this out. The yellow Topod jumps up and then it like ignites. Ignites and then fires down into the ground. And then it has like a shockwave. Did they show that? I know that they showed him jumping. Did they show that he has like a shockwave when he falls? There's so much popcorn on the ground. Look at that wheel. That's new. I don't even know where to start. And maybe that's their goal. They were like, let's just give them something to look at for hours. Look at all that fog though. That fog will look probably really nice in the game. Because right now there's no fog, and so you can just kind of see forever. Which is cool. I like the long draw distance, but I think the fog will look pretty good as well. And they showed that in the shot too. They had the fog. Yeah, wow. Okay, so that's the whole trailer right there, coming July 24th, 2026. We actually have a release date for Chapter 2. All right. And then last thing we'll do this video, because I've already been recording for 30 minutes, looking at a 36-second trailer. So we're going to kind of move into here, and we're going to go back. So on their Twitter, they released a post on December 22nd, 2025. We noticed we had enough spoiler-free content to make a surprise dev blog, which was nice because that was an entire year since the last post, right? Silence, entire year. And then they were silenced, and then they were quiet again for 7 months until July 2nd. And all they said was tomorrow. Nothing. And they posted this ridiculous GIF, which is just hilarious. And it about sums up my excitement that I had. Then moving on, they had the trailer, of course, coming July 24th. And that was crazy. But then they continued, right? They said 3 days later, they said, hi, mechanics. To clear up any confusion, 1.0 and Drilling Thunder is not a paid DLC. It's 100% free. We owe it all to you for supporting Scrap Mechanic through early access. Get ready for a massive upgrade on July 24th, 2026. And they posted this picture. I do want to say first, I was not aware of anybody thinking it was a DLC at all, because the game's always been this base that they're like going to build off of and make a fully fleshed game. So I was surprised to hear that it would be maybe a DLC, or to hear people were thinking it was going to be a DLC. But it's not. I could see how they would update to 1.0 and then Drilling Thunder as a DLC. I kind of honestly a little bit think maybe Chapter 3 will be a DLC, but at the same time, they've said in the past that they want each chapter to have a different mechanic. So you have, like, this is Drilling Thunder, which is underground. And then you would have, like, a flying one or something but they would have to introduce flying physics to the game, unless they've done it now, which I doubt they have. But they would have to introduce flying physics in the Chapter 3, which means they would have to update the base game, it's just a whole lot. I don't really see how they would do DLC with this game easily, unless it's just cosmetics, which is kind of lame. But I don't know. We'll see what they have in mind. Anyways, they added this screenshot in here, which is very, very interesting. So first off, you have the farm bot or the big red guy, whatever you want to call him. He's still there. He's chilling. You have this brand new structure right here that I don't think we've seen before, with the warehouse crates in the back that we have seen. This gun is new. I didn't even realize that. I'm looking on all the wrong areas. This gun is completely new. So I don't know if that means that they finally have gun customization, which they said would come in the survival update. But then they said, oh, we have these 3 guns. They're fine. So we're going to leave them. Also, the ground looks terraformed in this shot, in my opinion. It 100% looks terraformed. And then you also have this weird, ominous eye in the background. This red thing, and then like red glow over here. I have no idea what that is. It's a whole lot right here. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot. Then, again, 4 days later, they said, hi, mechanics. You waited, and now it's time for us to deliver. The 1.0 and Drilling Thunder release is getting closer. So they're not just teasing the update, breaking their like 7 month silence after not updating the game forever, but they're releasing frequent screenshots, which is crazy, right? So they're really building up the hype for this. This one's just of a warehouse, right? You have the warehouse elevator there, which has a warehouse key. Wait a second. If this is inside of a warehouse, then why is there a warehouse key slot right there? Are there different warehouse keys for different levels of the warehouse? Wait, they've said before that there's different stuff now. Because they said all existing warehouse keys will become circuit boards, which is hilarious. Not even communicate circuit boards. And that they're going to rehaul the key system. This also, I will note, right? There's obviously the elevator back here. It says elevator on it. So maybe there's just a door to like a loot room. You need the warehouse key. Like maybe you collect warehouse keys along the warehouse to open doors. I don't know. But the biggest thing I notice with this is that this doesn't seem block built, which the warehouses so far have mostly been. They've mostly been built out of blocks. And I thought about this a few, maybe months ago at this point. But I noticed that in the dev blogs, all the new survival stuff, the underground grow gardens or whatever they were called, and all those new structures were terrain assets instead of blocks, whereas the warehouses on the inside have always been blocks. And they were like kind of built. But now this doesn't look like that anymore. It doesn't look like a terrain asset. It looks like a hybrid. Were they a hybrid before? I don't know. Maybe. I haven't really been in a warehouse in a long time, so it's possible. Moving on, we have this one, which was released 3 hours as of recording this video. So this is the latest information we have right now, and I'm officially fully caught up on everything. I'm not gonna do videos every time they release every little bit of information. I'm just gonna kind of do this. If there's something new that I want to make a video on, I will. But chapter 2 releases in like 11 days at the time of recording this, maybe 12 by the time I'm done editing. So honestly, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna experience this with you guys, and then we're gonna be there on launch day making content. We'll see what happens, but let's go here. The 1.0 update comes with Steam achievements. I'm sure they said that because of one of these comments. Where is it at? I saw it in here. Yes. Will there be Steam achievements with 1.0? Yes. Okay. And then they released this one. They said 1.0 comes with Steam achievements. Can you guess this one? And it's just this shot right here. Can I guess this one? I see a mechanic running away from rockets. No, I can't guess what that is. That is. Could it be a raid? I can see a raid because like they come in on rockets now. So you're running away from a raid or something like that. I will say I really like this design for the achievements actually. I think that's cool. I hope that they probably carried it through for all the other achievements, but it's nice art, definitely. And honestly, Steam achievements being included in this update is another thing that like I didn't really think about until now, but it just proves even more how big this update is. Now that we've looked at everything, it's time for me to just kind of rant, right? So I'll probably show the creative mode trailer or alpha trailer or survival trailer or something like that in the background so you have something to look at. So 100% without a doubt, this is going to be the largest update ever to Scrap Mechanic, arguably bigger than the game itself like even starting, right? For the entire 10 years that I have played this game, and we've all been experiencing this game together, it's been a shell or like a base, a foundation for what it could become. It's been little pieces and bits of what it could be. When it was just creative mode, it was this shell where it was just this open sandbox. You can build whatever you want. And then they added survival in there, which from the beginning was the plan. In the alpha trailer, which could be playing now, depending on what I decide to do with the editing of this video, this the alpha trailer had the big red guy chasing someone and it said survive. So the overall idea of Scrap Mechanic has never changed. It's always been this mechanic survival game and stuff like that. I'm sure along the way a lot has become like fleshed out, right? They're like, oh, let's add this part of the story or blah blah blah, stuff like that. But overall, it's always been this. It's always these 10 years that we've had it and the even longer that Axelot has been developing this game. It's all culminating on July 24th. We're going to see everything that Scrap Mechanic was ever supposed to be. It's no longer going to be an early access game where you have these bits and pieces of components that kind of work together and you can see how they will become one like fleshed out thing eventually. It's going to actually be fully fleshed out. We're going to have this game where everything is cohesive and works together, and theoretically it's better than ever. And I do believe it will be better than ever. I think Axelot's going to blow our minds away with this update. I don't think we are at all prepared because just from these trailers and the couple of teasers they've given, like they've purposely kept a lot of content to themselves to not spoil everything. And so while we've gotten dev blogs here and there, we still only know like a little percentage of what this game will actually be in the next 10 days. It's all going to be so completely different from how it was before. And when Survival released in 2020, it was already completely different from how creative mode was. It looked different, it played different, everything was completely different and overhauled and new. And we're like, whoa, this is the way the game is going. And now we have this, which is doing the same thing again, but on such a more massive scale. It's just not even going to be remotely the same game anymore. It's crazy. Everything we know about this game up until this point will be like, it won't be pointless, but it'll be just a little like whisper of what this game actually is. I don't know. I'm trying to put it into words and I really kind of can't. It's just going to be absolutely crazy. But I think that's going to be it for me rambling in this video because I've gone officially 45 minutes of recording, which for a little trailer and some Twitter posts is a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this video, upload it to you guys. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, you're an absolute legend because this video is super long and you listened to me rant for like this long, which is crazy. And I don't really know why you care about what I think about this update. But I have a lot of thoughts. And if I think of something else weird, maybe I'll make a community post. I don't know. Thank you for watching. I don't really have much else to say. I feel like I rambled my little heart out. I don't really have anything else. Yeah, all right. I'm leaving. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in chapter 2. It's going to be absolutely wild. I'm signing off. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.
I'm gonna put sugar in the gas tank.
Nope.
Oh no, gas tank log. I have a pry bar.
Oh no. A pry bar. I have explosives.
Okay, so what am I saying
I gotta
again?
get into character. I don't know. You're calling me to try to get me to get on and look at the Scrap Mechanic trailer, and I'm falling asleep, and I don't believe you, and I'm gonna hang up on you.